Ready?
Yeah. Okay, it's Q&A session with us two. It's Dave and Chris from Ultimate MA Marketing. We're just trying to be serious at the moment because we've had loads of outtakes and we've just been mucking around really. But we'll be serious now. We've got a couple of questions that were sent in from some instructors who we work with. Well, one we work with and one's a member of UMAM, the other's a coaching client. So Chris, if you want to read the first question out and we'll see what we can do.
Okie dokes. The first one's probably fairly familiar to most of you. Basically what we've got here is, okay, how do I increase footfall through the door? I've advertised lots of different ways, but how do I convert that to actual bodies through the door? Once in, they seem to stay, but getting them to take that first step always seems to be the most difficult. So what do you reckon, Dave?
We've come across this question quite a bit. It's a good question as well. There's a few different parts to it. I think increasing the footfall through the door is just basically a marketing question, isn't it? We were covering this with some clients the other day about brand awareness and having consistency with your marketing, which is quite interesting. But the key, I think, we really need to cover is what's in your ad.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is a classic. I mean, it's kind of I responded to this particular question to one of the guys and just said to him, I'll answer the question by asking a question. What is it you're doing at the moment, and how are you testing it, and how are you measuring it? It's one thing that plenty of guys seem to miss, which is this test and measure process.
Yeah, definitely. Test and measure, and the three key components that we believe that it's a tested thing in any marketplace. Three components that make up an advert, which are your headline, your main body, and then the call to action. But the main part of actually getting somebody to do something about an advert is getting them to read the next line. That's the key, and we've covered this quite a bit, haven't we?
Yeah. Yeah, quite a few times. And it's difficult to come up with an easy ad, the ad that's going to be the be-all and end-all for everybody, that's going to work right across the board. And that's why we come back to this test and measure all the time. It doesn't matter what area of the country you live in, or what it is that you're doing on a particular day, whether the sun's shining or it's raining or whatever. What does matter, however, is the content and how much you've tested it in your area. There's certain things you can say which will engage with people. There are other things that will just go whoop, straight over the heads. They're not interested. Okay, so that's what you've got to test and you've got to find out. So that's probably the essence of this. Is really looking at, who's your customer, who are you, and then go and say to them, hey, Mr. Customer, this is for you. And then once they've done that, once they've read that piece, which says, hey mum, hey dad, because if you're a dad, you're going to look, aren't you, and read the next line.
I think also he's saying in this question that he's not having any trouble once getting them in. Once they seem to stay, once in they seem to stay, but getting them there, and the first step is so difficult. Honestly, you need to look at the advertising and split test your ads, see how they're working, see what the results are when they're coming in. But the key is a great strap line as well on there, and don't market to just to everybody, because all the ads we see tend to be marketing to every single man and his dog, from 4-year-olds to 70-year-olds. And really, we think you should be breaking that down, as Chris just said. You should be looking at who your market is. Obviously, you've got children's classes, adults, or whatever, or family classes. Some of you run those as well. Market to them specifically, and then your keywords in your advertising specifically to them. If it's children, as Chris is always talking about, you're talking to the parent, not necessarily the child. Now, most of you know that anyway, but does it register when you're actually doing the ad? And also get somebody to look at the advert, or anybody who's unassociated with your business, and get some genuine feedback. You don't want to give somebody an ad and say, what do you think? And they go, well, really, it's not that great. Somebody who potentially knows what they're talking about, and they say, I'd change that if I were you. And then you've gone ahead,
just printed off 25,000.
Yeah, well done. So anyway, that's the key. Really is test and measure, get the headline right. Get yourself some marketing books and go and read about how to advertise, and copywriting. That's another subject we'll cover soon. But moving speedily on. Next question was, Chris?
This one's from a guy that's basically looking to go from kind of semi-professional to professional in his school at the moment. And it's kind of a chicken and egg one. What he's saying here is I run a class twice a week. One's an adult class, the other's children's. I'm having problems attracting new students and would like help on advertising and marketing the school. Okay, I'd like to do this full time, but at the moment I can just about pay the rent. Any help will be most appreciated. I mean, that's that chicken and egg, isn't it? Can't afford to get the information, can't afford to get the education, but need the education and the information to make the business work, so that you can afford it. So it's kind of like looking around and seeing what's free, what you can get. We've obviously got a few bits and bobs that we'd like to point you towards, i.e. the newsletter, this membership, but obviously you guys are already involved in the membership, so that's kind of relevant. But there is another step that you can take, which is obviously the coaching, the one-to-one stuff. We found that quite a few guys that have taken that step, who have moved up to the one-to-one, get on significantly quicker, because I'm not saying you'll never get there without the coaching, but they get on significantly quicker when they do the coaching process. But anyway, aside from that, how could we help by just filling in a few gaps here to make this work?
Well, one of them is if you can't afford, if he's at that catch-22 where you can't afford to actually do more marketing, is get referrals from the people you've already got and other people. Look at the free stuff, as Chris was saying. There's lots of ways of doing it. On our coaching process, we have, I don't know, 6 or 7 different types of referral programs that our coaching clients are doing every month. And this is the thing, key is consistency. But he says, I'm having problems attracting new students. Marketing question again. It's lack of knowledge on marketing, or not really sure, need some guidance, and that's what we are here to do. And I would like some help in advertising and marketing my school, and would like to go full time at some point. Well, has he set any goals? You know, when do you want to go full time, and how many students do you want? What are the mechanics of the school? And, you know, we can cover all of that in detail in other areas, but really you've got to decide what you want, really. But to get new students through the door is the free stuff. You know, viral marketing, networking with your local community.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you work with that with a lot of the coaching clients.
Also think of other businesses in your area as well. You know, if you can link up with another business, I mean, plenty of the guys use like local hairdressers. You know, get some of your cards down there, your flyers or whatever it might be that you have.
The hair looks lovely, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just print the things off of your PC. You know, that's not costing you a load of money. Get it down to the local hairdressers. You know, put on a ladies only fitness kickboxing class. You know, if you don't want to go down that road, whatever. But just think of something that you could do for a group. You know, and pop that in there and say to the guys in the business, look, you know, give me some of your stuff. I'll give it to my students. If you'll give this to some of your customers. 9 times out of 10, people are happy to work with you in that way. So use that one. It's a great one. Obviously, speak to the students you've already got as well. Find out if they're involved in businesses. Find out if they're how they're involved in their workplaces. You know, you might have, I don't know, somebody that's in charge of a typing pool or a call centre. You know, there's 35 people working under them. They could go and ask those people if they fancy coming in for a free class. Okay, so there's a few ideas there. There's plenty you can do, and you know, give us a call.
Yeah, we're on the phone, or send us an email or something like that. If you know anybody who's interested in getting on board with UMAM membership, as you guys have, you know, pass on the details or just forward them an email and send them our way. If you've got any questions, you know, hook up with us as soon as you can, guys. Happy days, and we'll see you soon. We're going to have a great weekend because you're off down to Torquay, we're out on the boat. So that'd be cool. I just hope there's some wind in the sails.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Okay, see you soon. Bye.
How long did it take?